Match week 17 in the books. Man City continue to stumble, conceding 2 late goals to Crystal Palace and dropping points at home. The struggles continue elsewhere. Arsenal keep on rolling. Villa even score an away victory at the death. Last but not least, Liverpool, Man U, very, very boring stalemate. Maybe not so boring, Sam. We'll discuss everything that was match week 17 and more. This is the Premiership Bruiser Podcast.
Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! Back, Fuchs. And the ball in behind Damian Vardy! It's 11! It's heaven for Jamie Vardy!
You are an ostrich. Well, your head must be in the sand. Is your head in the sand? Are you flexible enough to get your head in the sand?
Now the fans are shouting every week, Louis van Gaal's army! Louis van Gaal's army!
Feet after a fabulous start. The game just got away from you there.
I have nothing to say.
Nothing to say about the game at all.
Drama from day one! This is the league we want to watch!
Yes, a very special Tuesday edition of the podcast.
Yeah, is this the first ever Tuesday podcast?
I would
if
hazard
there's
a
probably
guess and
maybe
say
one before, that might be it. Otherwise, this is the inaugural.
there's probably one that was on Tuesday for some odd
It was
reason.
it was probably a World Cup or Euros one though.
Yes, a Lads on Tour episode.
Yeah,
Indeed.
precisely.
Well,
Sam, let's get right into it. Get some Friday action.
some Friday action.
We also have some Richarlison can't be stopped. Kind of momentum building up.
You hate to see it.
Oh, I saw this one thing that was like, he can't stop scoring. Is like, he has 4 goals in 2 seasons, or a season and a half. It's like, he should start scoring, is what he should do.
Tottenham, Forest, the Friday match.
Yeah. This one. Man. I mean, it was mainly just Tottenham. Just killing it. Forest
pretty
couldn't
much
get anything going.
How you would expect it, Tottenham just overloading, so much possession. And then Forest were just like, what if we just fouled you
Yeah.
9 million
Just
times?
sat back and didn't really do anything. Had nothing going forward. They could not string more than like 3 passes together through midfield, Sam.
Can you
Convinced.
tell me how Ryan Yates didn't get a red card in this game? I'm pretty sure he could have had
happened
at
like
least
3
five
times.
yellows.
Yeah, it could have happened like 3 different times.
Insane.
It's been rough, man, and I don't even blame Forest's defense, really. It's their midfield's kind of letting them down, and it's too defensive-minded right now, and you're getting Gibbs White and Alonga isolated up front, but yet you're not like pinging balls over the top for them to run and chase down. I just don't like what they're doing right now. As far as Tottenham go, nice setup here. A lot of Kulishevsky and Son in this one. Pape Sarr also had a pretty solid game.
Yeah, Kulishevsky kind of running down the middle. That's been working well for them. They just have such an attacking lineup with Kulishevsky, Son, Brendan Johnson, and Richarlison too. That's kind of like a front four.
They had to make that change once Brendan Johnson had like the head injury, like halfway through the first half.
Yeah, that is true.
On Ollie Skip, so it's kind of a different aspect to him.
Yeah, they definitely lost the attacking sharpness that they had early in the game. They had a number of kind of half chances early on, and then after they brought on Ollie Skip, obviously a little bit less in that department. They did get the opening goal right before halftime. Kulishevsky whipping in a ball for Richarlison.
Awesome.
And once again, Richarlison scoring like he just won the World Cup.
Shushing the Nottingham Forest crowd.
You know,
Shushing Forest is not the best of looks.
I didn't miss this. I didn't miss seeing this guy score
Didn't-
because I can't stand him.
I'm okay with it only because it makes more teams watchable. I don't want to ever see guys where it's like Neil Maupay and stuff like that. But yeah, Richarlison is absolutely just the most insufferable guy possible. Goes into halftime 1-0. Second half, Forest look a little better in attack. I mean, they score a goal, but it was disallowed from Malanga. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think of what else there was, because Vicario actually was kind of busy in this half. Gibbs White had a free kick that was saved, right?
Yes.
I mean, it
I'm gonna
wasn't
say
really
yes.
like a shot, but it was like whipped in, and Vicario had to do it. Vicario has to run out there, and I think that's an underrated aspect to Tottenham's season, and we haven't really talked about him quite as much and how important he's been. But could you imagine like if they had Lloris in there and like causing him to like run and be a sweeper and constantly do the stuff that Vicario does?
Yeah,
It just wouldn't work.
I don't think that'd be
It wouldn't.
feasible with their
No.
back line that they want to.
It's not possible. So he's kind of been like a huge boost to them this year. He's been one of the sneaky best signings of the year, honestly.
Yeah. and speaking of goalkeepers, at the other end, Matt Turner turns it over right to Kulishevsky, and then Kulishevsky just violates Matt Turner at the near post.
This is what happens though when you make this playing out of the back
Yeah,
shit. It's
that's
like
true.
stop. If they just get a slight press to a guy who's not the best distributor, he's gonna give it away like that. And where was Nottingham Forest? Like Niakate was like further up the field than Kulishevsky. It's like you're the center back. Where are you? What are you doing? It's just not good, but also inexcusable from Matty Turner to not get it out of bounds. And then that blast right at him just to top things off. Just a shot right at him that he deflects in.
Pretty rough.
But he did get a red card though.
Yeah, Basuma is like,
Yeah,
hey, this is going pretty well. So I'm going to just fly into
Go
a
right at
tackle.
his shin/knee. It's a little
That,
high.
yeah, sure enough. That's a red card.
Yeah, because even after that, I mean, even after the red, Force really did not do a whole lot in terms of attack. They had like one or two chances. That was about it.
They
I
were
mean,
resigned to their fate.
yeah. I mean, they only had one shot on target this whole game.
Pretty rough.
Yeah.
Speaking of being resigned to the fate,
Mr. Cooper.
Mr. Steve Cooper, his time is done here. R.I.P.
It must be said, I think we kind of jinxed him when we were saying we were feeling decent about Forrest early in the year.
Yeah.
And he was sitting there around like 12th or 13th, and then he just couldn't pick up results. We're like, still have faith. And then it just went all downhill.
Yeah,
apparently going to be Nuno Espirito Santo, Sam.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Does that line up for Big Sam in May?
Big Sam in May. Very well could. I mean, I think it could go one of two ways. It could go like, the success he had with Wolves when they first came up, or it could just turn into like, what Tottenham was like, and pretty much a continuation of what Forest is already, where they're just no attacking output whatsoever.
I think it's going to be the Tottenham / like last season of Wolves, where he just like gave the ball to Troy every play and was like, do something.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
That's what I'm thinking too.
And it'll probably just do that, but it's going to be Gibbs White instead. He's like, hey, how about you do something? So
it does not inspire confidence in me. That's for sure.
No, it does not. It does not move me. It does not make me This does not feel like cooking.
Yeah. I'd
Cannot
like to
feel
see Steve Cooper in a more stable project and see
Well,
how he
apparently,
does.
and I could see this, Palace are the
Yeah.
team. They've been rumored with him as soon as Forrest thought about sacking him. I didn't, for whatever reason, it kind of felt a little surreal that Forrest sacked him. I think because it's just so, they're just such a weird run club. It looks like their owner could float anything to the media or just kind of like make shit up as they go. But
Well, I mean,
yeah,
last
it's not a
time,
surprise.
wasn't it last year where there was rumors about him getting sacked and then they extended
He
his
got an
contract?
extension. Yeah. So,
So, yeah.
yeah.
It's a very poorly run club.
Yeah, you could say so. They're sitting in 17th right now, 5 points ahead of Luton.
I don't think
Speaking of
Nuno's the
Luton,
guy.
yeah, speaking of Luton, game was being played and then had to be abandoned due to Lockyer having another cardiac arrest incident middle of the game. Pretty brutal stuff.
Yeah, not good. Luton, they got off with a good start. Early goal from Adebayo. And then in the second half, Bournemouth brought on the pressure and they were attacking quite a bit. And
And
Solanke
Big
finally
Dom.
scored. And then just about 10 minutes after that, that's when the game was stopped. So, yeah, obviously,
Did they say
terrible
if they would just
situation.
pick it up from where it was played, or would they just restart the whole thing? Or
I don't think it's been determined yet because it's an interesting question.
yeah,
You know, you
we shall
wonder with
see.
how much the game they played, maybe they just
Because
ended
it's the
as
60th minute or so. Who knows?
it's like when do you fit in 20 minutes of a game?
If it somehow depends on, like, if Luton's already relegated and like Bournemouth aren't going to, you know, they're going to be in like anywhere from 12th to 15th, like maybe they don't play it. Who knows?
I feel like you can't base that off that.
Well, you never know. If they feel like they can get away with it, if it has impact on relegation and whatnot, I feel like they have to for sure play it.
I feel like they have to either do it or don't do it, but if you base it off of the team's standings, then it seems a little questionable.
Yeah, I'm just throwing out everything that I could imagine the Premier League doing because they probably have all options on the table because they don't. They're gonna do what's best for them, not the teams or the players. But
Yeah,
what else is new?
that's true. That's true. Yeah, so shall we move on
Yeah, let's
to the Hank
let's.
special?
Oh no,
Chelsea.
you know I don't like when Sam's right.
God bless me.
Yeah, something like that. You can predict Chelsea except when they play Everton. You just don't know. You just don't know how goated Everton are.
That's true. Although I did almost predict the correct scoreline for the Everton game.
True. Um. Yeah, I mean nothing of value happened in the first half in this game. I mean there's really nothing to say.
Yeah, what was the expected goals
But
after
this game
that?
and then the Newcastle Fulham game were just pathetic. I'll try and pull it up here real quick, but it was like .1 to like .002 or
Yeah,
something like that. It's like, oh,
which I
okay.
mean, it's funny because this game, Chelsea Sheffield United, 100% makes sense. Fulham
Yes.
Newcastle though, that makes zero sense whatsoever.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, who would possibly expect that? But, here we are. Yeah, I can't find it. But it was a very, very low amount to a very, very even lower amount.
Yeah,
Uh yeah, and I mean all the first half was really just Caicedo and Gallagher intercepting any pass from Sheffield and then trying to counter and then Chelsea just fluffing their lines, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sheffield had one chance, really. I think they might have even just had like 2 shots in the game. They had
Yeah.
6 shots, I guess, but their best chance was Cameron Archer, who sent a curled effort just wide. And then in the second half, had a little bit of action, a little bit of pickup in terms of Chelsea actually having some quick passes, some 1-2s, running around defenders like they're training cones, because that's pretty much what Sheffield defenders are. And we get a goal, Sam. We
Yes.
get a goal. Gallagher involved on this one. Sterling getting to the byline, cuts it back. For whatever reason, Nicholas Jackson's like at the far post and not in the middle. But luckily, Cole Palmer comes sprinting in, smashes it home, makes it 1-0 for Chelsea. And then 5 minutes later, another nice little sequence that results in, I mean, I don't even know who had the initial effort. It was like kind of saved and blocked
It was
to
a
the side.
very strange goal.
And then Palmer squares it directly across the face of net, and Nicholas Jackson, still sitting at the back post, wide open this time, taps it home, makes it 2-0.
Yeah, there was like a potential penalty if it wasn't scored. Kind of
Yeah, because someone got like trucked from behind, but
I think
everyone
it
was
was
on.
Sterling.
Yeah, it did not truly matter. And nothing else in this game, quite frankly, mattered. I will be. There were 2 goals, and that was about it.
Broja missing from about 2 yards out.
Yeah, that shouldn't even be allowed.
That was
That
brutal.
that shouldn't be allowed.
That
But it did
was
happen.
that was Southampton-esque.
I think the funniest thing is people are upset that Nkunku didn't play, and it's like, when did you want him to come on? Like, they scored right away in the second half, and it's like, what are you gonna put him on when you're 2-0 up? That doesn't make sense.
I mean, you could, but
What would be the point? Farm 1 goal? Yeah. This game was kind of interesting. They dropped Enzo and just rolled with Gallagher and Caicedo, kind of as 2 holding mids, and went with Mudryk, Sterling on the wings, Palmer as a 10, Jackson as a 9. Normal back 4. It looked like a normal kind of lineup, Sam.
insane. People
Yeah.
playing in correct positions,
Yeah.
impossible.
Craziness. So Chelsea win, somewhat convincing, but not really convincing. It's just Sheffield lads. So, result that they for sure needed, but can't take for granted. Elsewhere, one team did not get the result they expected
No,
because
not
they
at
didn't
all.
put in truly that great of a performance to close out. We're talking Man City. We're talking Crystal Palace. We're talking Roy Ball.
Yeah, Dean Henderson getting his first start in this one too.
Yeah, Sam Johnstone out injured.
Yeah, unlucky for him. Probably his job gone.
Could be. Could also not be.
Really 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, it
Anyways,
just depends if Dean Henderson stays hot and gets in form, they'll probably just ride the hot hand. But if he doesn't set himself apart, then they'll probably just go back to John Stone because he was pretty solid. Sam, what stood out to you in the first half about this game?
well, I mean, it was, pretty much business as usual for City. A couple early chances. Alvarez had one, and then Rodri nearly scored, but he deflected it wide. City rolling with a bit of a different lineup. They got Rico Lewis and Alvarez. Obviously, no Holland, but you got Foden as well. It was really weird because Vardiol kept pushing up
He
like
was going
super
for it.
far forward.
Yeah, it's odd how much Man City gets some of their defenders involved in terms of the attack, not just in terms of like passing and stuff, but like Guardiola ended up with like a couple shots and stuff. I know that'll sometimes happen for Ake and Stones, especially Stones at times. So very weird. But City, after dominating most of the first half, get a goal. 24th minute, Jack Grealish, little low bottom corner finish, which I believe they did check on VAR to make sure he was on, which he was.
It was a nice move just to kind of find the space. Crystal Palace rolling up with the back five in this one.
Yeah, the Palace lineup in this one was special. It was generational.
Yeah.
Philip Riedewald, Richards, Olise midfield with Mitchell Gahey, Anderson, Ward, and Klein. Those are like 9 defenders. You have Mateta up top and Henderson and that.
Yeah, it's insane. Also funny that you called the Riedewald start.
I try. I try. I knew that, they'd have to pull out all the stops.
You know Roy Hodgson.
I've seen plenty of Roy Ball in my day.
Exactly.
Is there anything that I'm forgetting in the first half?
I don't have that
Okay.
much for notes.
Yeah. Second half, Alvarez scores, but the goal's ruled out. Rodri ducking under the free kick from an offside position.
Yeah, I can't remember if this was the one where the commentator was like, I don't think that should be offside. It's like, what? What do you mean?
Uh, no, it definitely should have been. It's Man City. They don't deserve that.
But it didn't matter. 2 minutes later, Rico Lewis scores after the ball popped up from Foden, falls to him, and gets a finish. City, you think cruise control after that? Up 2-0 against Crystal Palace, who have 9 defenders on the field?
Oh, you know what we forgot in the first half was Ederson could have got a potential red card.
Ah,
I mean,
yes.
I would say it's yellow, but you could make the case as a red.
I
That's
think
what I was thinking of.
I think there was at least one defender that could have
Yeah,
got back.
I think that's why we didn't make a big dealio about it. But yeah, Rico Lewis, just a kind of crappy tap in goal.
Yeah, after
But you
that,
take what you can get when the other team has 12 guys defending.
that is true. After
They
that,
have an
Dean
extra guy.
Henderson made a nice save on Bernardo Silva. And then about 10 minutes later, long ball up from Gahey to Schlupp. Springs the attack for Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace pulled a Ten Hog there. Crystal Palace.
Crystal Polish.
And Schlupp finds Mateta for the goal. The unexpected goal.
Yeah, that was an amazing ball there by Schlupp to thread that through. Mateta just crashing in.
Yeah, that was nice.
Very nice. Then we finally got to see a little more of the Francia,
Yeah,
Matthias Francia, who was kind of cooking when he was able to dribble.
yeah.
Cooking a little bit, not much, but you know, he
Something.
looked okay. I could see him. Yeah, I could see him kind of being something special for Palace a little down the road.
Then it comes to the very end of the game. 90 plus 3, Mateta wins the ball off of Bernardo Silva. And Phil Foden just takes a big old swing and misses the ball completely and takes out Mateta. Penalty awarded.
Nice.
Elise steps up, cool as you like, converts the penalty right at the death to grab a point. Very disappointing for City.
Huge result for Palace. I mean, they almost go into that, I think, and they'll get a point or 3 a year at this point.
Yeah, true. They're the bogey team.
City stoppers. Yeah.
Yeah, which they did not deserve a point whatsoever from this game based on the
No.
performance.
No, and it's always at the Etihad. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, very
It's
weird.
not like Selhurst. They come alive. Yeah, I mean, Man City just. What are you gonna say? That's like inexcusable. This whole idea that Man City will just turn it on. I mean, I don't know when people are going to realize that it just might not happen.
I mean, they're only like 5 points back. Honestly, they've been playing terrible, and they're only
Could
5
still
points
win the
back.
league, but that's just because Liverpool and Arsenal are, bottle
Yeah,
jobbing it, not taking
that's exactly
advantage.
it. I mean, it's
I'm
only a
not saying they can't win
matter
the
of
league, but
time
I mean, they're
before.
not people just implying that the City is going to run away with it and stuff. Like I just don't see it. Like easily win the league. They could win the league by like up like 3 to 6 points.
Yeah,
Wouldn't be that crazy, but I mean, they're just not performing how they should be. Constantly drawing, losing games where, you know, they really shouldn't be in terms of like even the Villa game, the Arsenal game, they typically see draws out from those positions, but not this year.
I mean, personally, I think it's one thing to lose to Villa away, but to lose this game when you're up 2-0 at home
Well,
against
true,
Crystal Palace, or yeah,
true.
to
Yeah,
draw this
drop
one. Sorry,
points.
yeah, draw points felt like a loss
Yeah.
from their perspective. Just the level of disappointment when they should have
Yeah,
been in
and
cruise control.
I get the Villa thing that you're saying because Villa is so good, but also if you're the champions going for your fourth title in a row, you probably pull your nuts out and put them on the table and say, "Hey, we're the champions. We could do this." You have full faith. Not like, "Oh man, this team, this kind of upstart team, they're really good." I don't know.
Yeah,
It's like so I just don't think that they have it's kind of a transition year. They could still easily win the league, but I just don't know why people are penciling them in.
I think they just have that aura about them. Like, despite not playing well, it still feels like it's inevitable.
Only time will tell. Only time told about Fulham before they fell off, Sam. And they fell off pretty hard in this one. Although they did beat Club of the Future Everton on penalties today in the Carabao Cup, so
That's true. That's
yeah.
true.
This
Yeah,
game kind of just went south because Raul Jimenez got fouled, and then he said, "What if I got retaliation?" And his retaliation was a red card.
exactly. We're talking about Newcastle versus Fulham. Yeah, this one, it was kind of like a tale of two halves, but two halves being before the red card and after the red card.
Yes.
I mean, to start the game, it was kind of back and forth. Neither team really dominating, so to say. The chances weren't there, like you mentioned earlier with the expected goals. But it was at least open. And then, yeah, 22 minutes in, like you said, Jimenez got fouled and goes for the retaliation and just goes absolutely flying into Sean Longstaff and like hits his butt into
Yeah,
Sean
he like hip
Longstaff's
checks him
head.
in the face.
Yeah, it was insane. Never seen something like that before.
Yeah,
And then after
I
that
don't know what he
is
was even trying to do. It's one of those where it's like inexcusable because it's like, what are you even trying to do? And there's no way. He only got a yellow to start. I think that's what's crazy. The ref
yeah, that is
probably
crazy.
wasn't really looking and didn't pay attention.
I
But
feel like he had a pretty good view of it,
yeah,
just off memory. Um, but
yeah,
big
it didn't
ups
help
to
because
Samuel Barrett.
really no one on Fulham showed up in this game except for like maybe Tom Kearney played all right.
I thought
But other than
Iwobi
that,
was decent. Uh, yeah, I mean after that, going down a man away to
at
Newcastle, that's
Newcastle, no matter what injuries Newcastle has, still
it's gonna
so
be
tough.
pretty tough,
Especially speaking of injuries, Cher and Joelinton off early in this one,
right? Right, yeah. Forced on
but it
the
mattered
changes, yeah. Big
because
chance for Newcastle in the first half. Anthony Gordon had a shot that went off the bar.
yeah, that was a rip, that was a rocket
Yeah. Other than
from
that,
like
I
point blank.
don't remember any other chances that were really all that clear cut from Newcastle's
No.
perspective, but going into the second half is where they
Sam,
made their hay.
need to buy Dubravka some hair gel for Christmas.
Slick it back.
Yeah. Sick of this Lloyd Christmas Jason Steele hair going on.
Someone's got to do it.
Someone does have to do it.
So, anyways, back to the game. Newcastle getting their goals in the second half. Lewis Miley, the goal
Yeah, he
scorer for the
comes
first
on.
one. Yeah, got subbed
Gets a
on.
goal.
Newcastle were just piling on the pressure, and then Lewis Miley gets the goal. 57th minute, and then about 7 minutes later, Gordon plays Wilson through, fouled by Anthony Robinson, but the ball falls to Almiron, who scores easily at the back post. After that, it was pretty much done and dusted, but Newcastle did add a third in the 82nd minute.
Big Dan Burn.
Yeah, just a pretty crap goal, honestly. Dan Burn from a
What are you
cross.
gonna say?
Initial header saved, and then he just kind of bundled it in.
Yeah.
But you take those. You take those.
Oh, true. So true. 3-0 Newcastle. Good result for Newcastle, but I don't know. The performance didn't really have to be anything spectacular.
Yeah. I would have liked to see 11v11, what the result would have been. But
Yeah.
never
Probably
know.
still like 1-0 Newcastle or maybe
Yeah.
a draw, but Fulham, I just don't know if they had it going. That day was not their day.
It's true.
You know whose day it wasn't, and it hasn't been many times this year? Burnley's.
That is true.
And
That
they
is
had to
true.
deal with the wrath of Everton, Club of the Future.
AKA Old Burnley.
Yeah, Sean Dyche's men, who really loaded up defensively in this game. I was surprised by that. But
Yeah, they did switch it up a bit.
yeah, but Burnley, we figured that they'd hold the ball quite a bit. Everton would kind of be sitting back a little bit, not just low block, playing only on the counter, but
Yeah.
it kind of played out how we thought, Sam. I think you said probably 3-0 or
Yes,
something.
I did say 3-0.
I think I said 2-1. So we were kind of close on this one. Early goal for Onana, Sam.
Yeah, just the thumping header.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a rough go, James Trafford, on this one. He had a
Yes.
couple moments that were a little rough after we were praising his performance last week, but he's still young.
Such is the life of a young keeper.
Yeah.
Unless you're Gavin Bazunu and I just gave up on you last year. Even though
It's
I think
true.
he's doing fine this year. Dwight McNeil revenge game assist.
Yeah. Yeah, Everton getting their second goal shortly after that. Long free kick falling to Michael Keane. Talk about revenge game.
Former Burnley man.
What a
I
finish.
thought today it was funny because Onana had, I don't know if you saw it in the Carabao Cup, one of the worst penalties you'll ever see.
I did not.
After he scored in this game, and then Michael Keane had an own goal in the Carabao Cup game against Fulham. So the two guys who were the heroes at the weekend just completely crapped all over themselves in the Carabao Cup game.
Michael Keane, I 100% can believe that. And
Yes.
Onana was the original agent of chaos, so
Yeah.
it happened.
I'd like to kind of see if they drop Calvert-Lewin for a game just to get Beto in there for a full run. I just want to see that.
What about Danjuma? Danjuma is no longer on the team.
To be fair, he's not really a Sean Dyche guy.
No, he's not.
I
Just
mean,
crazy. He doesn't even come off the bench or anything.
I know.
They made 2
They're
subs.
punishing him for turning him down last year for Tottenham, just for Tottenham to never play him.
That's crazy.
What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I don't know.
Lyle Foster back.
Burnley did have some possession after this, but didn't really do much.
Nothing.
Odebear had a couple of moments that looked decent, but other than that, they're still Burnley.
Yeah, I mean, he's really all they have going for him right now, minus Brownhill's fine. Berga's okay at times, not as advertised. But the attack is just blah.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Yeah, and this one goes into halftime 2-0, and then I should have known, Everton go up 2-0. They're just gonna freaking park the bus and set up shop and be like, all right, let's see what you can do. You can't attack normally, Burnley, so have fun trying to break down a low block.
Yeah. I mean, it was crazy how they just had that set up. There's nothing Burnley could do. Everton's just set up perfectly.
Only
They didn't even need really anything from like Jack Harrison or anything this game, or Decore in attack,
Yeah. Only real chance for Burnley, I think, was M. Dooney forcing Pickford into a nice little stretch save. But other than that, Everton, like I said, happy to sit back and absorb the pressure. And obviously, Burnley had no solution to get through. Sean Dyche's.
Sean Dyche's, man.
That one ends 2-0. Everton, club of the future, continue to be club of the future, maybe even club of the present, in all honesty. They are the hot club.
Yeah, I mean, they have it set up. They have it set up. They know what they are. It's one of those teams you can feel confident in them because, like I said, they know what they are. I mean, they've won, what is it, 2, 4, 6 out of their last 8 in the Premier League. And the 2 non-wins were a draw with Brighton, and then that Man U loss, which you just scrap that.
Yeah.
You just got hit with a bicycle to start the game. That was about it. So.
Yeah, pretty nutty.
Yeah,
Right.
what else is nutty is the scoring run that your boy Kai Havertz is on.
And Kai, man. Guy can't be stopped.
I tried to tell you earlier. I was like, I at least feel good about him and his production compared to what Man U is getting in Money Mace.
100%. 100%. Let's get into it. Arsenal versus Brighton at the Emirates.
Rough Odegaard game. Like, he was good in terms of he's popping up everywhere doing stuff, but the execution by him, whether it's the final pass or the shot, was like never good enough.
Yeah, I think they had a bit of that kind of how they had in the Aston Villa game where they were, holding on to the ball and possessing the ball well, and then it just came down to not being able to, make decent passes at times to really unlock the offense at times.
Okay, you didn't have to worry about Brighton. They're down in the dumps right now as far as attack goes. It's just not clicking.
They were like
compared to what it used to be.
non-existent in this game. It was
Yeah.
pretty insane, honestly. I thought
They held
I-
the ball a good amount, but it resulted in like literally nothing.
yeah, and honestly, they play that play style where they want the other team to press them, but this was just like Arsenal would press them and then Brighton would just give away the ball.
Yeah.
And when they
I
did have
wonder if
possession, it
Brighton.
was just like in their own half.
I know we were talking about it last time, but again, like the squad rotation, it's just constant. Like, how do you expect your guys to play well if you're constantly rotating the team? I just don't. I don't understand it with De Zerbi.
Yeah. I mean, I at least felt better about this lineup. You know, you
No,
had
this lineup was fine, but
Matoma.
like the last week, last couple weeks and stuff, it's like what is going on? I mean, I probably wouldn't have Lalana in there, but
Yeah,
beggars can't be choosers.
right. You
And
guys,
Van Hecke is the only guy who gets to start every game besides Lewis Dunk, and he's having a real rough go in there. But I just don't understand it.
you know, Brighton fans really like Van Hecke.
Okay, they can keep liking him.
He's just kind of mid to me.
Yeah. Well, we saw it on display in the second half. We'll get to that later, but Arsenal had plenty of chances in the first half, Sam.
Yeah, plenty of chances. Just coming down to not being able to convert the chances. The finishing, it looks like it could be the weakness for Arsenal this year.
I have news for you.
Yes.
I think you just got to play Eddie and Ketia more. I
No,
think it
it's
solves your
it's
problems.
interesting. It feels like Gabriel Jesus. Wow, that was out.
Well, he scores in this one, but
Yeah, I mean he's important in terms of like the build up and everything.
yeah,
But then when it comes
thoughts on
to the goal scoring, you know, that's not his forte, even as he says. And a lot of times he's coming out wide to get the ball, and then there's just no one down the middle.
yeah, which is like I don't know. It's nice to have him wide and you can overlap one side, but I don't get it with him and Martinelli just not scoring as much. I feel like one's got to be dropped, like for a bit, and just having Ketia in the middle and just feed balls in there. He knows where to be and what to do. As of right now, um, maybe Cedric's the answer to your goal scoring problems too. You ever think about that?
Cedric, true, I agree.
Goes in halftime 0-0. Second half, Gabby Jesus scores off a corner. Van Hecke decides to try and clear it, but he heads it right to Gabby Jesus, who tucks it in the net himself. Nothing Big Bart could do about that one.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, after that, there was some pressure by Brighton to grab an equalizer. Their biggest chance came from Pascal Gross later on. His shot just going on the other side of the post. I thought for sure that one was going in.
It did look like it. Unfortunately, I didn't watch live, so
You knew.
yeah, I knew, but I was like, oh man, it looked like it.
I couldn't believe it. And then, like you were saying, Kai Havertz getting the
Big
second
Kai.
goal, putting the game
Yeah.
to bed.
Eddie and Ketia with the assist. Normally Havertz is off in those situations because he's just normally offside, but
He's a
there's
new
just no
man.
one around him. Um, did Bart had a big save on someone in like a very similar chance, did he not? Obviously, Havertz just goes underneath him between his legs. I thought there was another one where
On
Verbergen had it.
Martinelli.
Okay, Martinelli. Yeah. I was like, oh man. But Kai Havertz, he's unstoppable now.
Yeah,
I'm
fantastic.
I'm happy for you. I'm mainly just happy to be right that if one of them had to be good, it'd be Havertz and not Mount. But you know, what can I say?
I think he's kind of suiting into that Jaka role now. He's kind of found his spot in the team.
Yes, yes.
Whereas Mason Mount, you have no idea what position he's supposed to.
Well, just think, you know, man, you could have waited 6 months and then just got Mason Mount offered him a free contract in about 10, 15 days. Instead, they said 60 mil. Ship him 60 mil.
For how many goals and assists was that?
He doesn't have any, does he?
0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yep.
By my estimate, that's infinite pounds per goal.
Yeah.
Has none.
Something like that. Finishes 2-0. Brighton. I wouldn't be surprised if we look up and see Brighton's in the bottom half of the table here. Because it might
Yeah,
not be Chelsea who passes them, but it could definitely be Fulham or Wolves.
I think they're getting a little bit of that West Ham being in a European competition. It's like, it's kind of a wake up call.
It's a lot to deal with. The
It's a lot to deal with.
expectations are a lot.
Especially Thursday
Yeah.
games are just, for some
They take it
reason,
out of you.
it like destroys teams.
Yeah, later on, and sure you play Sundays, but I don't know. At least with Champions League, sometimes you get Tuesday and then you get to play Saturday.
Yeah.
Not necessarily only Wednesday. Europa League, it's only Thursday. It's like, ugh. So I got my eye on Brighton. I don't like their vibe at the moment.
Great.
All right.
Moving on. Brentford versus Villa.
What a weird game.
It was a weird game.
I wouldn't anticipate this to be the weirdest game of the week, but somehow I think it was.
There was a lot of weird games.
Yeah, I guess City and Palace was pretty weird. Newcastle and Fulham was really weird. The only games that really weren't weird was like the Everton game, Tottenham game, Chelsea game. Chelsea game was just shit. And the Arsenal game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like 6 of them I would classify as at least like somewhat weird.
It was like you either get a normal game or just a weird game. Like no in between.
Yeah. Most of the time it's pretty normal, but yeah, the Villa Brentford game was a crazy one.
Yeah. It was weird. Weird. Early chance for Brentford. Damsgaard. You can tell that guy has like zero confidence whatsoever. Really should have
So
scored.
yeah, he does not get to play that much, and when he does, it's not great. He rode off the Euro run,
Right.
and Sampdoria got paid for him, and that was about it.
Yeah. After that, a lot of possession from Villa, but they were really struggling with the back line, just sitting in for Brentford. I thought Villa looked decent when they actually tried to play long, but
Yeah,
they didn't do
I
that very
agree.
often because Unai
No, because
Emery
Emery
hates
is
it.
stubborn bastard.
Yeah. And then obviously Brentford happy to just play on the counter. They had another chance. Wisa nearly got on the end of a ball from Damsgaard. But a little too much power on the pass. And then Brentford taking the lead from a corner just before halftime. Ball falls out to Keane Lewis Potter.
Yeah,
Just kind of stabs it in the back of the net to take the lead going into halftime. After that, second half, kind of same deal. Villa, lots of possession. Very slow possession. When they're at their
yeah,
best, they're moving the ball well. They definitely were not moving the ball very well. Very easy to defend against this one. And then there was kind of the big tipping point of the game. Ben Mead just getting a very stupid red card.
yeah. It was very much like Basuma's in terms of just going in, slide tackle, middle of the field, not really that close to the ball, and you're just getting a whole lot of shin.
Yeah, it was after Brentford had a corner.
Yeah,
Like, what are you doing, man? And then,
not very Ben Me like. And I tell you what,
yeah,
Brentford had to change the way that they went about business,
exactly.
taking off Wisa, putting on Collins, but it did not matter because shortly after that, Alex Moreno Little header from the 6-yard box
Yeah.
off the Leon Bailey dime.
And you feel like that is almost directly correlated to the change in defense. Moreno popping up at the back post completely unmarked.
Yeah.
Too easy of a goal to score. You feel like Ben Mizon, the defense is probably organized a little bit better, and that doesn't happen.
Yeah, or it's at least there's someone slightly in the way to off-put Moreno, so the chance might not be quite as good. Yeah, absolutely. And then Villa go and grab it. Ollie Watkins, another header, um, off the corner.
Yeah. Nice
Assist for
flick on from
Bukar Kamara.
Kamara.
Yeah.
And then it just all hell broke loose after that.
Yellows and yellows and yellows and reds, and it was everything.
Yeah, Ollie Watkins pointing at fans, apparently.
Yeah, the celebration against the old team. Colwell did it against Brighton not that long ago. So like just literally screaming with his arms out and stuff. It's like, my God, man. I think you forgot who you were just on last year.
Right.
But at least for Watkins, it's been a few years. But still, like, not the best of looks. But it is what it is. Do your thing. Yeah, so it ended up Konsa, Gudos, Duran, Yanal, yellow cards in virtually every minute, 86, 87, 88. Onyeka, yellow. Then we had the Maupai and Emmy Martinez coming together.
Yeah.
Then at the very end, we get the Kamara red card. I mean, it
Insane.
was really all over the place.
Insane.
What did you think of the Maupai and Emmy Martinez going at each other?
That was great. Let them duke it out.
You hate both of them, so
Yes, exactly. Attack each other, please. I'm rooting for Neil Maupay in that one, actually, to be honest.
wow. It's because you hate Emmy Martinez
Yeah.
the most. Former Arsenal lad.
Member of Rat 11.
Rad FC. Finishes 2-1. Huge comeback victory for Villa, but it felt like, I don't know if they would have had maybe a draw if Ben Mee's still out there. But
Yeah, I feel like there's a
he
good
wasn't.
chance.
He blew it. It was kind of like the Bournemouth game. They waited till the very end to kind of complete the comeback too, when it was at the Vitality. But
Yeah, I mean,
the team felt like
definitely.
that, but being down to 10 men hurt even more.
Yeah, definitely has been much more of a struggle away from home for Villa, where teams just sit back and they have to move the ball better than they do.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too where it's like if you're Villa and you can get your style set up to where you can suck the life out of the crowd, it's not that bad. But if you start making some errors and the other team's pressing,
Yeah.
that can really get the home fans behind it even more. And that'll really throw you off. And I think that's kind of what happens a lot with Villa when it's a
Yeah,
struggle.
it seems like playing out of the back definitely is much more of an issue away from home for them.
No, 100%. It's just a matter of concentration and having support and stuff.
Yeah, and you make a good point though. Like it gets the fans into the game when Villa gives away the ball when they're trying to play out of the back, and it just brings some energy for the other team. They start pressing, making mistakes, and yeah, dangerous game.
Absolutely.
All right, moving on to the next one. This one,
West Ham, Wolves.
yeah, West Ham versus Wolves. Did not see
All right,
this
people.
result.
It's the Paqueta party has come out for a lot of people who support Paqueta and say
I
that
always
he's
rated that
world
guy.
class. Yeah. I just had to make a point to say I needed him dropped. I'll admit I was wrong, but he also was doing nothing before this game, so
Yeah, I think he's just that type of guy who's like very hit or miss.
yeah, that's fair. I tell you, he's not hit or miss. Muhammad Kudus, he only hits.
He only hits.
Yeah,
He's
don't
so
know why
good, dude.
it took so. I don't know why it took so long for them to start him. He's a great winger, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll ease him in." It's like, no, he should just play right away. He's better than West Ham quality, and West Ham quality is, it's better when it used to be. I mean, they're European champions of the Conference League and stuff. So, but
Yeah.
he should probably be on a Champions League team. You would think.
Yeah, I mean the way that he's scoring, his finishing has been excellent. These aren't just easy tap in goals he's scoring.
No.
This first one, great ball from Paqueta up on the counter, and then Kudus with the quality finish. It was kind of edge of the box, I think.
Yes.
Just really placed it to perfection. Didn't try and do too much there. I feel like a lot of players don't score that goal.
No. No, because they overcomplicate it. Kudus says less is more. I'm gonna keep it simple here, real quick.
Yeah. And then 10 minutes later, similar situation. Wolves turn over the ball. West Ham hit on the counter. Paqueta again threads the ball to Kudus. This time finish a little bit easier. Pretty simple one-on-one with the keeper, and he scores nicely. Go 2-0 up. West Ham had another chance just before halftime. Jared Bowen hitting off the inside of the post and out.
Yeah, I mean it was one of those games where Wolves really they had possession, but like we said, this is not where you want to be if you're Wolves in terms of having possession. The midfield did an okay job at kind of controlling stuff, but the attack was really not going for Wolves.
Yeah, and they just got punished for their turnovers. Like the clinical nature of West Ham in this,
Yeah, I mean,
unquestionable.
Kudus, Bowen, and Paqueta were clicking. Ward Prowse really didn't do a whole lot in
Yeah,
this one.
yeah. Second half, I thought Wolves had a better start to the half. They had a chance. Sarabia with some good link up play,
But disallowed.
and scored, but it was offside. Yeah, that was kind of their chance to get back into the game. And then West Ham later on sealed the deal. This time, Jared Bowen linking up with Paqueta. Paqueta getting the hat trick of assists.
Yeah, how about that?
It was a great game for Paqueta.
Well,
Can't be
that's what
doubted.
happens when he shows up. They can win 3-0, but he doesn't show up. So this is why they're in 8th or 9th place. I mean, it's still a solid
Yeah,
year for West Ham, but really they got to capitalize. Bowen's still playing well. Ward Prowse has slowed down a bit, but he's still hanging in there. And then Kudus, like you said, is just in fuego. And Suchek had been playing well for a good while too, so they could end up right at that 7th spot. Wouldn't rule it out.
I think
Get a little Europa Conference League, run it back for him.
yeah.
But
I
Wolves
mean,
in this one, they went with a different lineup. They knew they were gonna have to hold the ball, and it did not go well with the back three.
yeah, did not.
So, uh, moving on to the final game of the week,
Probably the worst
Liverpool
one.
and yeah, it wasn't the worst 0-0 that I've seen, to say the least. But I mean, it was really just Darweezy Habibi like hate fest. Just
And
just this
the
guy
first
having
half was,
it was absurd. It was insanity.
yeah,
Like I don't know what to even say about it. Uh I don't know how, and even just in general, I mean, Liverpool just did not they played down to Man U standards. That's what I mean when
yeah.
Man U I said a couple weeks ago where they like Jedi mind trick these teams into like playing down to their level.
That's so true. So
They
true.
it's they're like, yes, we're playing like shit, and other teams like, oh well, play like shit too. It's like, okay. I mean, that lineup they put out there, Varane, Dalot, Shaw, and Evans as a back four, and it like completely shut down Liverpool was insane. It was insane.
Yeah.
Sam's guy Mino. Kobe Mino. Or Mano, however you
Gabi.
say it. Yeah. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, him and Amrabat holding it down. What can you say?
Yeah, Amrabat back to having a decent game. He only shows up for the big games. That's his problem. That's why he's great at the World Cup.
True.
And that's why he got bought. Is because every game's a big game. He's like,
True.
oh, we're playing Chelsea. I'll play hard. Oh, we're playing Liverpool. I'll play hard. He's like, Bournemouth. I am not tracking back. You guys have a good day.
Yeah, and I think Liverpool too, this midfield trio, Endo, Szoboszlai, and Gravenberch just I mean, last week didn't look good. This week
It
didn't
looked
look
even
good.
worse. Somehow those guys like throw Szoboszlai off and make him look not very good.
Yeah.
Even though he's obviously the best of those guys, but it really just doesn't work out with those guys in there. And
Just doesn't
Liverpool's
work.
defense was like not tested like at all really. But
Yeah.
also Salah was just locked up by Luke Shaw. Like I would have not guessed that going into the game. Also, Sam, your guy Hoyland may never score.
He may never score.
He's he has
Pretty
no goals
rough.
in 14 Premier League games.
I mean, he gets like
No
0
service.
service, but
But then it's like, how does he score in the Champions League?
yeah,
It's not like they're all solo goals,
that's true.
you know? So, I don't know. Yeah, this game was probably one of the most disgusting Man U Liverpool matches I've ever watched. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess United actually ended up with the meme stat of expected goals. They had a better uh expected goals, I think, in at least in the first half. But I mean, Onana was definitely felt like more busier than Alisson.
Hmm.
So, anything else stand out to you in this one? Dalot getting sent off at the very end.
Yeah, I mean that was insane.
What
That was
was that?
that was basically
What was
2 yellow
that?
cards for the same sequence, which that was an awful call. And honestly, was it the first half or the second half where Darweezy just came in and trucked someone? I forget who it was. And then he kicked the
I
ball
think that
away
was
and he got a
yeah, and
yellow. And then
yeah.
he started complaining to the ref. It's like, well, that could have been a second
That was
yellow.
all. That was all in the first half. The like
That was in the
first
first
yellow
half.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I
the
thought.
first yellow and the like trucking and then yeah,
I felt like that was more worthy of 2 yellow cards than Delo.
yeah.
I mean, that
I
was a
mean
really bad
the
look
Delo one was excessive.
for Michael Oliver. That just was like, what the fuck, dude? What is that? That's not
Yeah,
even
could have
like,
easily swung the game.
yeah, that
Pre
was just insane.
Liverpool. Yep. I agree with you there.
Other than that, I mean, it's chances for both sides in the second half when capitalizing on them.
Yeah, I mean these subs that United bring on these days. I mean, like Rashford coming off the bench is hilarious, but like Mejbri and Palestri, it's just like what is this team?
Yeah,
What is this team? McTom's your best player, and it's not even close.
I feel like their best attacking player on the bench is Regulon.
Uh, what about Daniel Gore?
I don't even know who that is. He doesn't
I
have
don't
a
know who that
picture.
is either. I don't know who that is either. Uh, Donny Van de Beek, anyone? I don't know. I think that this team is just like so discombobulated with a plan, but Ten Hag is actually in the mindset. It feels like Ten Hag is like, how do I describe it? Not necessarily an interim, but like It's like he took over this team like a week ago, and they're like, patch it together and make it work.
Yeah,
It's like, no, this guy's been here the whole time, and he had
exactly.
all the reins to like the transfers for who he wanted.
Exactly. It's as if he hasn't been, making these transfers. It's like, yeah, like you said, it
It's kind. I
feels
was
like
thinking
he's
like
come in and just trying to deal with the situation, but it's like
I
you're
was
the one
gonna
who
compare
created
it to
this.
like Klopp taking over Liverpool, and he had like a bunch of the old like Southampton guys and
Yeah,
whatnot, and but even then, like that team arguably might have been better because at least they had Coutinho.
yeah, true.
Like I don't know. The only saving grace for United is that Bruno didn't play, so he couldn't get embarrassed in this one because he surely would have been embarrassed. Because for whatever reason, he like cannot play Liverpool.
Yeah,
So
it's baffling how they can just keep bringing in guys that are just
it's just
failures.
bad. It's insanity. It's like when bad teams in American sports keep sucking forever and they get like the first, second, third, fourth, fifth pick, and they just keep drafting the wrong guy. It's like, how is this happening? How are you this bad?
You should have at least one transfer that works out for you.
Yeah.
Imagine if
Not
they didn't have Scott McTominay this year.
they'd be toast.
They would be
They'd be
toast.
toast. If they would have, I mean, somehow I sold McTom and McGuire to West Ham, they'd be so out of luck. So out of luck.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyways, let's move on to match day 18. Get a little predictions in, a little match day 19 as well.
True.
Yeah, let's get it.
Yeah. The rare
Let's get it.
Thursday game. Crystal Palace versus Brighton.
We
Crystal
love it.
Palace coming off that big draw in City Brighton
Oh
loss
man,
against Arsenal.
it'll never not be amazing when I look at the combined things and they somehow come out to equal 3 wins for each and 6 draws between Brighton and Crystal Palace in the Premier League. Which it kind of feels weird that these two are technically rivals, given the fact one's in London and Brighton's
Yeah,
way
they're
more
pretty far
south.
away. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is
Uh
strange.
yeah. I don't know about this one. Like I don't want to pick Brighton because I can't really trust them, but something about Palace at home this year is really unsettling to me. I don't know why. I'm gonna go with a 1-1 draw.
It's not a big shout. I think I'll say 1-0 Brighton. Although, no, I can't say 1-0 Brighton because Brighton can't keep a freaking clean sheet to save their life.
Even against Crystal Palace, who threw out 9 defenders.
I'll say 2-1.
All right. Villa Sheffield.
Okay, this is at home for Villa. 9-0.
I might have to contact our betting plug in uh a legal betting state and potentially see what it would be for like Villa to win by 3. See what the odds of that are. Might be like even odds for them to win by 3 goals. I'm gonna say 4-0 Villa.
4-0. I'll say 3-0.
Okay. West Ham Man U. Pretty interesting matchup here, Sam.
Yeah, it is
Man U's gonna
interesting.
have to hold the ball. I mean, they got Moisey last time they played. The last 3 games, by the way, have all been 1-0, one way or the other.
Hmm.
Actually, 4 of the last 5 have been 1-0, one way or the other.
Too surprising.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 2-1 to West Ham.
Same. I'm gonna say 1-0 West Ham.
Fulham Burnley.
Well,
If Fulham are still cooking, this could be very nice for them.
yeah, I think they'll be back. I'll say 3-0.
3-0. Holy smokes. I'll keep it polite and we'll say 2-0. Luton, Newcastle.
They're going to be motivated.
They might just for Lockyer, or it could have shook them to the core for a couple games. That's got to be pretty tough. I can't imagine, but it's got to be pretty tough to see, your teammate go down like that.
I think they'll
But
rally.
the way Newcastle are playing right now, I just don't.
Yeah,
I don't
especially
know.
away.
They beat Fulham, but yeah, they might just be home merchants.
Yeah.
Like that game today against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. Like I get they're injured. They had one chance and they scored it because Chelsea can't help themselves. But other than that, they didn't do anything in attack, and they threw the game away in the 92nd minute. Trippier had another touch where he just lets Chelsea score, like he did against Everton. Except this time it's in the box. It wasn't up the middle of the field. So I just don't trust Newcastle right now. And it's going to sound crazy, but I'm going to go at least a 1-1 draw for Luton.
Yeah, I was going to say 1-1.
Forest, Bournemouth. The manager bounce?
I don't think so.
Okay. Who's even the interim?
No idea.
We need to find out who would be their best. Maybe Wayne Hennessy, player manager. Do you imagine? Nuno Tavares, player manager?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'll go, since Bournemouth have been playing better, I'll go 2-1, but we'll see.
I'm
But
gonna
yeah, I'm
say
going to go Bournemouth 2-1.
2-0.
Okay. Tottenham, Everton.
Ooh. That's for the
This
club
is
of
the
future.
battle of minds. Battle of the minds out here. Mr. Dyche and Mr. Posteglou.
Yeah.
What are you looking for in this one?
I'm looking for
Just
someone
Tottenham
to
being
say
able to
mate.
break down? Looking for Tottenham to break down that the back line? Yeah, there's going to be a lot of mates thrown around.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure
Oh, I
it'll
don't
be a
know,
lot
mate.
of possession, similar to what
Sean
Spurs have
Dyche's
been doing.
team is it's really good, mate. Everton, club of the future, mate.
Mate. But Everton, they got a little bit of chaos in them. Maybe hit on the
Yes,
counter
they do.
attack. I'm gonna say 2-1 Tottenham.
Yes, they do. I'm gonna go with a 1-1 draw. I don't feel spectacular about that. As you know, I like to not feel good about things, but this one, it just doesn't feel right. I would lean Tottenham win if I had to pick one way, but we'll go with a draw. Liverpool, Arsenal at Anfield, the house of Sam's nightmares.
Truly.
Give it to me straight. How you feeling going into this one?
It all comes down to how you can manage the crowd. If you can kind of lull the crowd to sleep, you have a chance. But we saw before Arteta, I think it was last year, he riled up the crowd. And then after that, Liverpool went on to be the much better side. And yeah, Arsenal, not a good record away, too. So I'm going to say a 2-1 win for Liverpool. I don't feel great about it, given their performance at United, but I think this game, they might be a little bit more upward and not play to the level of man.
I think there's going to be some defensive errors by both sides in this one. I'm going to go 3-2 Liverpool.
That's a good shout.
I take it back then. That's what I do. I take it right back. You know it's not a good shout is to predict a 3-2 game between Wolves and Chelsea. Because that would require a lot more goals than will be scored.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what's weird is I don't have any faith in Chelsea at the Molineux ever since that game where Chelsea started having like a health crisis, like the COVID crisis, and then they couldn't like I don't know if you remember that. This is when they still had Tuchel, and they like tried to get the game postponed, and they wouldn't let them. And Chelsea had like 3 empty bench slots, and the game finished 0-0. That's ever since then. I've had no faith about Chelsea and Wolves. I don't know. What do you think? You're the Chelsea whisperer.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What do I think? The Wolves bounce back in this
Chelsea had
one.
a big Carabao Cup win against Newcastle today. Your boy Georgi Petrovic had a huge save. The MLS lad.
I mean, I definitely could see the situation where Chelsea are trying to dilly dally out of the back and just get turned over.
And then Wang Hee-chan scores a curler. Yeah, I could
Yes,
see this as well. This is definitely something that would happen.
I'm gonna
Uh,
say 2-1 Wolves.
okay, I'll go with 1-1. No, 0-0. 0-0. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I can see it happening.
I could definitely see that. Um, Newcastle, Forest, Boxing Day. I mean, this is a
Uh,
smashing 3-0.
that's
Chalk
about
it up.
as free of a game as you get. Yeah, probably 3-0 or 2-0, depending on. They might do a little rotation action.
I have faith. Bournemouth, Fulham.
Could be an interesting game.
I'm gonna go 2-2.
2-2. It's hard to
Although
say.
Fulham away from home they're kind of home merchants too in a way.
Yeah.
Craven Cottage.
I'm gonna
Still, I like the
say
2-2.
1-1.
Okay. Sheffield, Luton. Will Chris Wilder win another game, Sam?
He could. I feel like I could see them winning this game, like a 2-1.
Also, if you'd believe this, Luton and Sheffield have never played in the Premier League before. Can you believe that? You believe that, Sam? I don't.
Yes, I do believe that.
I'll be with you. I'll say Sheffield 1-0. That's the only time I'll pick Sheffield this whole year, probably.
I'm gonna say Sheffield 2-1, and I'm gonna say Ollie McBurney.
No, that's not your prediction. That's not allowed. Burnley, Liverpool. Is this one where Liverpool win like 1-0 and you're really worried? And then like the 79th minute they finally score and you're like, okay, well, they'll win because Burnley can't do anything.
Yeah, pretty much. Probably Burnley will play them tight for about a half or 60 minutes, and then Liverpool score a
Fade.
couple goals. And okay,
United and Villa.
Villa on the road, not great, but United won't just
They're
park
passing
the bus.
even on the road. Although Man U's press sometimes when they're up for it is pretty good. I'll say that. But Villa's passing should be able to dice United open enough. I'm going to say 2-1 Villa.
Yeah, I feel like this game suits him better, honestly. A bigger away game rather than like against a Brentford or Bournemouth. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 3-1.
Wow. Big time upset. Not in my eyes. Some people's. Brentford Wolves.
This has like 0-0 written.
This is I was gonna say the Ben Me, the Nathan Collins derby. Yeah, this does have 0-0 all over. There might not be many goals for Wolves this week. I'll go 1-1 just to be different.
Okay. Chelsea, Crystal Palace. Oh boy.
You know, this would be the jinx of a lifetime, but Chelsea, for whatever reason, always own Crystal Palace, like no matter what. So, with that said, Roy Ball, you got to believe Sam. He's going to park the bus. He's going to make it happen. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, he's gonna park the bus. That is for sure. I'm gonna say 2-0.
Two.
Chelsea.
Okay. I was like, I'm going to go 2-0. on this one. Just not pick a winner. Everton City. This might be for like the final Champions League spot, Sam.
True.
Once they lift Everton's ban
Right.
or points deduction.
They're like, okay, 1 point instead of 10.
Yeah. Everton, wow. Tottenham now City. At least they got their points while they could, I guess. That's pretty tough. Dyche will play him well, but I think City will take it, even though it's at Goodison. We'll go 1-0.
Yeah, I feel like this will just be one of those games where, City probably don't play particularly well, but Everton don't really test them enough. So
No, or Everton do actually play well in attack, and they just somehow never score. And then City have 3 chances that are okay, and they score on one of them. It's like Jack Grealish just has a nice curled shot. It's like, oh, okay.
I'm gonna say 1-0 City.
Oh, we're on the same page then. Brighton, Tottenham. The Basuma Derby.
Derby. Yeah, I just don't feel great about Brighton
I'm
at the
not
moment.
moved. I'm not moved by Brighton. And surely they'll win both games this week now and make us question our own sanity. I think this one will be entertaining though. I'm gonna go with a wild 3-3.
3-3. I was thinking 2-2, but I think Spurs will win. I think 2-1.
Okay. Arsenal West Ham to round off the Christmas week and post Christmas week.
Well,
Is anything coming to your mind?
we know that West Ham will just park the bus and hit on the counter, which could be potentially dangerous to Arsenal. See, can Arsenal break down West Ham? I feel like they probably can.
All
But
you
it-
need is one Aguerd mishap and you're good.
It might be a little dicey towards the end of the game. I'm gonna say
If you
2-1.
think West Ham will beat Man U, then surely they won't beat Arsenal. That's doing a lot to get 2 wins against top 6 teams back to back like that. So
Yeah.
it's definitely more possible for them to beat Man U at home than they go to the Emirates and take a point. Not saying that they're not going to play Arsenal tough or anything, but I'm going to say Arsenal 1-0.
Right.
Like they grind it out. What's your predictions besides Ollie McBurney, which shouldn't be allowed to be a prediction, to
It
be
should
quite
be
frank?
allowed. Should be allowed. Let's see. Did I say 3-0 Fulham versus Burnley? I think Harry Wilson scores in that one.
Okay. Lovely.
Nothing too exciting there.
No, nothing too exciting, but Harry Wilson, he's cooking lately.
Yes.
Well, that wraps it up.
Right.
Hopefully these next couple match days give us a little more. This last match day was disappointing.
It was rough.
Boring, weird but boring games, and then also just like out of the blue lock year stuff. No, never fun. So yeah, we need more fun stuff for Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all those listening to this
Yes.
wonderful podcast. Wishing
Before we
you
go,
nothing but the best.
Sam, next manager sacked.
Next
Is-
manager sacked is. You want to say Vincent Company, but the man's freaking
Invincible.
unsackable at this point.
See that? Yeah. See what I did there? Invincible.
Invincible. Roy Hodgson leaving. I mean, that feels like it's like a matter of time.
Yeah.
I don't really
Oh,
see
yeah.
anyone else at the moment.
Quiet. Too quiet. If Brentford aren't careful, not saying Thomas Franco gets sacked, but they could drop down to 16th or 3 points away from it.
They could.
So, all right, that wraps it up. Until probably when's the next time we're gonna have a podcast? Like the
29th, probably.
30th, 29th, yeah, 29th. So,
Yeah.
all right. Until then,
Hope you get good presents.
adios.
Adios.
Mis amigos. Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.